Hello, Fairy Tale Fangs, and welcome back to the swamp. Today, we've got brand new Shrek plush. This is the full plush set from a company called Jay Franco. We're going to be looking at Shrek, Donkey, Fiona, and even a bonus Shrek. This is a truly exciting video because these are brand new Shrek toys with Shrek coming back into the public limelight. It was only a matter of time before we have new Shrek stuff, and I'm really excited to talk about these. I was not sponsored. These were not sent my way. I purchased these all on my own because I really wanted them, and they looked pretty neat. And the reason these ones stuck out to me in particular is because we have had Shrek plush in the past couple of years. Off the top of my head, there was these lovely guys here. These came from a Denny's claw machine. And, they're fine little toys, for claw machine prizes, they're fine. And Shrek really has had a long history of amusement and prize toys, like the Nanco Shrek plush that I am so nostalgic for. Here's a classic Nanco Shrek, and then here's a big Fiona prize you would have won at an amusement game back in the day. These are great plush, but there's a difference between amusement plush and commercially available plush. So I kind of call these guys bedding plush, is what I refer to them as, because typically they're sold at like Target and Walmart. Now, from my personal experience, these don't seem to be shipping in any stores. These seem to be an Amazon exclusive online, but that could change since these do look like products that would be shipped to a store. They've got big tags with UPC codes. I could totally see these being stocked on a bedding aisle. And actually, back in the day, they did make Shrek bedding with bedding plush, but they were huge. I mean, look at this donkey. It's kind of ridiculous, but it is great to see new Shrek plush that are not just amusement prize toys. As you'll see, when you have a product that's for sale as opposed to one you win from a carnival game, you have a bigger budget to work with, and that really shows in these toys. There's a lot of really nice details with them. Also, another reason I wanted to buy this set is because so often do we get Shrek and Donkey in these plush lines, but never Fiona. And we actually have Fiona represented in this line in her ogress form. She's actually based off of her Shrek Forever After appearance with the two-tone green dress here, which is slightly uncommon for Shrek collecting, so I just had to pick that up. And, first impressions looking at these guys, I've had them open for a little bit now. I'm really, really impressed by the displayability of these guys. They're very cute and adorable, and they're big. They are bigger than I thought they would be. These are roughly somewhere between 16 and 18 inches off the top of my head. Shrek does seem to be taller than Fiona, and then oddly enough, Donkey is the biggest of the bunch. Donkey kind of towers over Shrek, and when you lift the ears up, he becomes so tall, you can't even see him in the full frame of the video. But thankfully, that's what editing is for, and we are gonna get some nice, snappy, flashy looks at these plush here, and why I think they're cool and possibly worth your time. Again, this is gonna be my unbiased review of these. So first, let's talk price point. These plush retail for roughly $30, and that changes depending on the character. So Fiona, she cost me about $28. Donkey was an even $30, and Shrek is like, I think he's $31 or $32. The price is not the same on all of these. Go to Amazon and you'll see what I mean. And by the way, I have affiliate links in this video, so if you do want to buy these, be sure to use the affiliate link. It will go back and support Brimstone's swamp, which is much appreciated. But now I'm going to tell you why I really like these plush. So let's start off with Shrek here, the titular Shrek. And yeah, he is chunky, is the word I would best describe him. He almost looks like Shrek as a Twinkie. When I posted that photo of Shrek in the packed Amazon thing, I posted that on the community page. Some people commented that it looked like SpongeBob from the April Fool's episode. April Fools, you little sausage. And now that Shrek is puffed out of his sausage form, he is still decidedly Frankfurter-like in shape. You're not going to get a lot of muscular build with Shrek, and that is something that's changed a lot as someone that has always been really into plush and plush collecting. I have some examples here to show you. If you look at something like the Nanco plush here, They're very figural. They represent the character fully. And then if you compare that to more modern plush, you'll see they have a decidedly chibi look to them. Really, all of plush collecting has gone in this direction, where things have become much more stylized, much more chibi. I think it's a combination of influences from things like anime and Funko Pop collecting that makes these plush companies want to make things cuter. And while, I'm usually not the biggest fan of this, I think these plush have actually hit a middle ground that I have long looked for in plush, because while I do like these classic Namco plush, let's be honest, they're just display pieces. You listen to me hold this plush, you can hear the styrofoam material that is in these. They were not made to last, and they were certainly not made to be cuddled or hugged as a plush should be. These are just displayable pieces. They are, for lack of a better term, soft statues. I'm coining that now. Amusement toys are soft statues because they're just supposed to sit on a shelf, and if you squeeze them too much, they fall to pieces. But with these guys here, the material in them is incredible, and I don't know when exactly this happened in the plush world. I think it may have been Squishmallow. I'm kind of out of the loop on plush toys these days. I'm an old man, but I know Squishmallow is something the kids like with plush, but they're much softer. They're much more pillow-like. Like, this is actually something, if you really wanted to, you could use as like a pillow or a bed for a baby. Like, it's crazy how soft this is. They have all of the things that define Shrek. They have his big jawline, his big nose. I particularly like the vest being made out of the correct material here. It feels like a wash rag material, and it totally works. It gives the plush definition and makes it more believable that this would have a scale-like texture to it. It's not exactly alligator skin. That wouldn't be soft and plush and lovable. But the wash rag material is soft, and it does give that impression away. So it's good. My only real complaints with accuracy is that the outfit is a little too white. It's a little too clean. Shrek's much dirtier than that. But with this being a plush toy, it is going to pick up dirt over time. So maybe naturally Shrek will become more swamp-like. That's one of the real bonuses of collecting Shrek toys, is you don't have to worry about them getting scraped up or dirty. Just pretend it's swamp damage. It's totally accurate. Okay, now moving on to Donkey. This is a very stylized version of Donkey that, honestly, at first glance, doesn't look too much all like the character. You would not be mistaken for thinking this is some sort of Disney Donkey or character from another movie, but the elements are there. The eye color is correct. I think the proportions of him are good. They really didn't give him stubby legs. He has, full-length hooves and legs here, which is impressive. They could have cheaped out there. And the ears is another area they didn't cheap out. They're huge. He almost looks like Dumbo. It's a little ridiculous. Now, when you compare Donkey again to some of the other releases, you're not going to get that movie-accurate shape, but I still think the cuteness is there, and this does resemble Donkey enough to where if you showed this to the average person on the street, they would say, yeah, that's Eddie Murphy's Donkey. Now, one minor nitpick I do have that I think would have helped this plush, and I think I've said this in my Donkey collecting video I did, Donkey collectibles always look better when his mouth is open, because Donkey never shuts up. He never stops talking. So any Donkey collectible with a closed mouth just automatically looks weird. Still, he is impressive. He is big and he is soft, that is for sure. So if you're looking for a Donkey plush to actually cuddle with, you can't go wrong with this one. Okay, so now we just have Fiona left, but before we do, I want to cut the tags off these guys. Now this is strange because I never remove the tags off of my plush. From a collecting angle, I think it's fun, and for reference for videos, it allows me to instantly know who made the plush. But as you can see with these guys, the tags on them are huge. I mean, they are ridiculously big. They are nice tags. Now, I'll show one up to the camera close here. They've got Shrek with Gingy and the 3 blind mice, and then Donkey on the back. It's kind of just the plain, generic white background with characters branding that we've seen since, 2022, 2023-ish? Right around when Puss in Boots came out is when this branding started with the toys. So that's how you know these are some new plush. but the tags are so big, they really get in the way and they block the details. And nowhere are the details better than Fiona, who is easily the standout of the set, without a doubt. Now, I know I have a little bit of a Fiona bias. I do love Fiona in her ogress form. And I've always felt like ogress Fiona has been super under-merchandised in the Shrek world, compared to Shrek and Donkey at least. And this plush finally gives our girl some justice. Everything about it is perfect. And that is hard to capture on a stylized plush because Fiona has a lot of detail. You have to keep her hair, her ponytail, her makeup, her dress, her feminine form, for lack of a better term. I mean, Shrek's got this big, bulky body type, which is a little easier to stylize. Donkey's a donkey, you know. They've been making My Little Pony plush since the 80s. That's not too hard to do. But Fiona is decidedly more difficult to make as a plush, and I think they have captured her beauty and detail very, very gracefully. It could have been a lot worse. So, looking at the face, the eye color is correct. The nose, they really gave her that big pig-like nose she has, which I think is a nice touch. The eyelashes, the hair in particular is great. They got the right color of scarlet red that is just classic Fiona. And the ponytail looks perfect. I mean, this is such a good plush, guys. And compared to some of the other ogress Fiona plush released throughout the years, it's no comparison. This is the one to get. Also chose to have Fiona in her Shrek Forever After dress, which I thought was a very interesting choice and makes her stand out on a shelf of similar Shrek collectibles. And I think the plush did a beautiful job of capturing those details. Like the heart belt and necklace look absolutely superb. You would not be fooled into thinking this Fiona plush was from a more premium plush company like Build-A-Bear. Now, I'm not too familiar with Jay Franco plush. From what I gather, they make a lot of the plush you see at Target and Walmart and other big United States retailers that they sell on the bedding aisle. And for bedding plush, these are better than they have any right to be. Really, the one goal these should have is that they be soft and cuddly for a child. And from that angle, it's a 10 out of 10. If you've got a kid that wants new Shrek plush, this is the way to go. A lot of the vintage ones have become very collectible over the years, and these ones are softer, they're better, they're more detailed, you can't go wrong with them. And as an adult collector, I appreciate these plush. I understand they're not specifically designed for you and I, but they can be appreciated and enjoyed. I know I'm going to cuddle up with this chonky Shrek boy. He's so soft. Again, the softness factor on these plush is crazy. Now, when I went to order these, I noticed they had one more Shrek plush, and it was called the Shrek Buddy plush, and this one had more realistic proportions, so I went ahead and bought that one too, because I thought this one would be much more my style as an adult collector. And let me tell you, this one's very curious. It's definitely a different take. This one is much closer to those Namco plush from the 2000s. It's got all of his realistic proportions down. Even the face shape, the body shape is pretty perfect, including a larger than usual tummy. A lot of these Shrek plush, they cheap out on the tummy area, and they give him a very flat stomach, but not this guy. You get the full girth of Shrek. So if you want a more movie-accurate Shrek, this one is the way to go. I also noticed that this one has a slightly different tag that resembles the branding we saw around, like, I would say 2016 to 2019 was this branding. So I actually think I bought the older Jay Franco plush, and this set of 3 is the new set. Maybe this was like old stock they have lying around, or possibly this was supposed to go to stores and they didn't pick it up. Because this one does closely resemble what you would see from like Sonic and Minecraft. Again, very soft, good material here, good detail. This one is an all-around crowd pleaser. You can't go wrong with this guy. And they did get the tunic color on this one much better. My only real gripe with this Shrek is something about the face looks a little off. He's almost too friendly looking, if that's possible. Compare him to the classic Namco plush and you'll see what I mean. Not that the Namco plush had a very good face. Some of the faces on those are quite cursed, but I don't know, there's just something so iconic. Maybe it's just because I'm used to seeing the Namco Shrek, and the idea of just seeing a new modern Shrek plush is weird to me. and my brain is not yet used to it yet. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you prefer the larger Buddy Shrek or the big, more stylized ones? Oh, one more thing. This guy here actually is a little cheaper than the others. He was about, I think, 27 is what I paid for this guy versus 31 for the chibi Shrek. So, you know, the one that's shorter ends up costing more money, but remember, he's got more stuffing, so it evens out. I started looking up DreamWorks plush, and that's when I found these guys. And I'm like, hey, these are new Shrek plush that I really haven't seen or heard about anywhere. I'm surprised one of you guys didn't let me know about one of these. So instead, I thought I will do my duty, and I will let you guys know about the Jay Franco Shrek plush, a set that I think is very solid and very good. At least Fiona. This Fiona is so great, and honestly, she looks good with some of the existing Shrek plush. I have here, this was the Shrek the Third stylized Shrek. This was right when that chibi-ification craze started to hit pop culture. Pretty early on, though. It's not quite at Funko Pop level, where we reduce the characters down to just eyeballs. He still has a pretty realistic Shrek face, but he looks good. You know, he's a little out of scale. Fiona definitely towers a little over him. You know, this looked better in my head. It really did. When I ordered this plush, when I bought Fiona, I said, you know what? I'm going to put Fiona next to this guy on the shelf and then have these two get their own spot. But now I'm not feeling it. Look how tiny Shrek is. So scratch that. You know, we're going to display them as they were meant to be, a Jay Franco set. But, you know, finally, before we leave here, I do just want to close. If you look at these two Shreks, we see how far we've come in the past, oh my god, 20 years. Almost 20 years. Wow. I feel old. But look at how plush design has changed. You know, this one's more realistic, a little more grimy. This one's more cutesy. But on the other hand, this guy has those bean materials in him, and he's so hard for a plush. This isn't anything as a kid I would want to hug and love. And I know some of these have sound effects in them. Does this one have a voice box? No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I think this was just a plush, but it's not a very cuddleable plush, at least compared to this guy. You know, we didn't know it at the time, because I think I actually did sleep with a Shrek plush just like this one, but kids today have it lucky. They have much better plush toys. You know, this is one area where we actually can say, as a society, we've gotten better. We have evolved. Plush is softer than it was 20 years ago. But is the design better? I'm going to leave that up to you. Let me know in the comments what you think of these very stylized plush. Are you going to pick these up off of Amazon or add them to your collection? Maybe just pick up Fiona, because she's goated. She's clearly the best. And also, don't forget the Buddy Shrek, the big one. I liked that one too. But Jay Franco, they got Shrek and they did some pretty good stuff. I would like to see Jay Franco continue their Shrek collection. I would love to see a Puss in Boots, maybe even a dragon in this style. I think would look really, really cute. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching me review some new Shrek plush. Final verdict, I like them. I think they're good. They're better than I expected. I kind of went into this review with the angle of talk about why Fiona is so great and then also talk about Shrek and Donkey. But watching myself film with the camera in front of me, I've kind of fallen in love with the Shrek and Donkey. I think they're so cute. And also, look at Shrek. They gave him this cutesy look, almost like he's making the Puss in Boots face. He's not doing the one eyebrow-raised DreamWorks face we see so often on these toys. He looks very friendly because he is with Fiona and he is a happy and content family man. Alright, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and as always, as a happily and soft and cuddly ever after. Alright, I'm tired now. I'm going to bed with my Shrek plush. I worked a full shift before making this video, and I also have the hiccups. You didn't even notice it, but I did. Alright, I'm actually gonna go nap now. Good night. Bye. 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 This channel wouldn't be possible without awesome ogres like you guys. A huge special thanks to Pizza Topping, Shotgun Justice, Binks, Boa Usta, The Layered Ogre, Telephone Wire, Sailor Laws, The Luke Rosati, Love Monster Fanatic, SMO3, Griffin Newman, Tucker Time, Jamie, Bonzario, Pladley, Don Tizzle, Antonio Bocina, and Jid Jip. If you'd like to see your name up here, consider a YouTube membership for only 99 cents a month, but watching this video all the way until the end, that alone makes you an awesome Swampy supporter, my friend. Thanks for watching!